Well, that's the familiar sound that will ring through most schools today as Hawaii's public school keiki head back into the classroom. And the start of this school year brings a lot of changes for Hawaii's families. A new price for school lunch, new bus routes, and even new schools all together. And joining us with more now on all these changes and how to ease your way into the school year is School Superintendent Catherine Matayoshi. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And thanks for joining us at this early morning hour. It's a brand new school year.
Yes,
What can students expect in terms of the Common Core standards? Because that's going to be a big change for them this year.
Well, first of all, the Common Core standards are starting in K1 and 2. So it's not all the way through the middle school and elementary, middle, and high schools. It's just those first 3 grades that are starting. And the teachers have been working really hard to begin to understand what those Common Core standards are. There are standards that have been adopted by most of the states, and so they're brand new for everyone, and we're all beginning to roll them out. The materials, the textbooks and all have not yet caught up with the Common Core, so a lot of it teachers understanding the standards and adapting their material to it.
This is a change in the way of studying math and reading. So, can you give us some specifics in terms of how these concepts will be changed?
Well, first of all, the focus in English language arts is really more on nonfiction reading and writing. And it may not be as apparent in K1 and 2. But the finding is really that as you get into the workforce and you go on to college, it's not as much about fiction, it's not as much about creative writing as it is about explaining things and advocating for something that you believe in, or that kind of reading and writing. So that's a little different in English language arts and math. In English language arts. And in math, it's more about concepts of math as opposed to the traditional sequencing of math. So it gets a little deep, and as it rolls out, I think what we're going to find too is we really want to move to a place where students are a little more hands-on, a little more involved in their learning, and so that's a little bit of a focus area for us in the coming years.
What do you say to those teachers who felt that they just didn't have enough time to prepare over the summer for these new standards?
I think they're right. I really think that we will need more time as we move forward to have that professional development, the training, and the time to plan their work, and that's going to be tough in the coming years.
You're dealing now with a new Board of Education. It is appointed instead of elected.
Right.
Do you think the new board is better than the old one?
Well, I don't know about better, but there's certainly it's a different group of people. Just as an example, with Don Horner as the executive of First Hawaiian Bank, he comes with a very strong private sector way of thinking, and he pushes us to think about whether or not what we're doing makes sense. The other thing I'm very impressed with is they spend a tremendous amount of time with us, learning what we're doing, very interested in the work, and asking a lot of hard questions. They don't really assume that we know it, they ask us.
Well, Catherine Matayoshi, thank you so much. Of course, we could ask you so many questions on this first day of school, but you're welcome to come back on our show anytime.
Great, thanks very much.
Catherine Matayoshi, the school superintendent. And remember, KITV4 is your back-to-school headquarters, and our commitment continues online. So you can head to KITV.com, and you'll find a back-to-school section at the top of our homepage. It is 6:50. We'll be right back.